Alright, Michiana Shooting News here again with another product review. As you can see on the table in front of me, I've got a pair of my revolvers here. You see some moon clips and some empty cartridges that we're going to use for demonstration purposes. This is not live ammunition. The product we're reviewing is actually a service, not a specific product. And the product service is getting your revolvers cut for moon clips. What you see in front of you is a moon clip. This is what retains the cartridges into a bundle. The advantage to using moon clips versus conventional speed loaders or loading one at a time is that you can take your firearm, take a bundle of cartridges, drop them in the cylinder all at once. When you fire the cartridge and you eject the spent cases, they'll all come out at one time, making the reloads faster and making the brass easier to police up, get back in your bag. So that's what we do. That's what the moon clips are for. The advantages are for competition shooters, faster reloadings, anybody that's running speed shooting, at least with a revolver. This is an option for them. It can be an easier way to carry ammo. That's totally your choice on that one, but I like them. It makes the gun much more serviceable, much faster to use. So let's get on to looking at the guns that we have here in front of us and talk about them. What you'll see here are two Smith & Wesson revolvers. One's a model 19. This is a .357 Magnum. This is a model 14. This is a .38 Special only. Both of these firearms I had cut to accept the moon clips. Now, what we're going to look at is what a cylinder looks like, because they're slightly different, after you've cut one for moon clips. Now, as you can see, if you look at the face of the cylinder, you can see where the machine work has been done, the bright colored, where the steel's been machined out. And basically a floor has been cut into the cylinder to allow the moon clip to fall into the cylinder. This is what it looks like without the cartridges when you drop it into the gun, just for our reference. So, now for that look, I had a co-worker I work with. I went to him, approached him about doing the service locally right here in town, and I said, I want to have this service done. We want to get it done local right here, and can you help us out? The man says yes, and I give him some moon clips. We give him the drawing. I put my revolvers up for the job, and what you're going to see later in this video is I recorded some of the work being done, pictures after the work was done, and we're going to give you some more information about pricing, how to contact the man, and more about how to get a hold of the moon clips. Now, about the moon clips themselves, the person who I hired for the work does not manufacture these moon clips. The moon clips are available from T&K Custom. The website is called moonclips.com. So I had to buy these from T&K Custom. They are also available at Clark Custom Guns. These are available for most any type of revolver out there today. Colt, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Charter Arms, Taurus, Rossi. Almost every caliber is possible to be cut for moon clips. Almost every gun can be cut for moon clips. And the one thing I forgot to mention about this is when you cut your gun for moon clips, when you use this service, the advantage of it is you can load your cartridges with moon clips, or you can load your cartridges one at a time. So let's give you a show about that. We're going to hold this up here. The advantage to it is, of course, using a moon clip, cartridges come in, come out as a whole. Now, if you ever lose your moon clip or choose not to use your moon clip for some reason, the cartridges can still be loaded one at a time in a regular manner, and these will work, load, fire, and function just like they did when they came from the factory. There's no change at all to what you perceive when you drop them in the gun. There's no slop, there's no wiggle, nothing will go wrong. By doing this service, you're not affecting the functionality of the revolver, you're not stuck with the moon clip. You can get the best of both worlds. Okay, what you're seeing now is the actual cylinder being machined. The cylinder is set up in a Haas mill. This is my Model 14 cylinder being machined out right now. So just to give you a look at what's happening here, it's being milled. Operation took about 12 minutes. We're going light, small cuts to make it nice and clean and neat. And this is the floor cutting for the moon clip. So now you see what this operation will look like. Okay, what we're going to show you now is the second operation I chose to have done in my Model 14. What you'll see the machine doing is we're cutting a 20-degree chamfer around the edge of the cylinders to assist in removing burrs and to help the cartridges load a little bit faster. This is an optional operation. It's not necessary. It's something I chose to have done. You can get this done in the service. Okay, now that you've seen the machining video, let's talk some more specifics about what the cylinders look like when they were finished. There were two approaches to the cylinder work here, because the cylinders were two different ones on the firearms that I have. This Model 19, this is the cylinder from the Model 19. And this cylinder, if you get a chance, if you can look at this real close, you'll notice that in the old Smith & Wesson cylinders, the cylinders were recessed, so that when you put a cartridge in it, the cartridge actually sat flush with the face of the cylinder. So therefore, cutting one of these is slightly different than cutting a regular cylinder. But it is not a big change. You can just see when you look around here that it sits further down in there and you have a higher shoulder. And there's no extra charge for that. Cutting a recessed cylinder is not a big issue. It's a slight programming change. Your moon clips still work the same way. Cartridges are going to work the same way either way. You're going to be in good shape on those. So that is a description for this one, so you can see a difference of a more involved recessed cylinder. Now we'll move over here and talk about the Model 14 target gun, this was a more ordinary cylinder. On this one had the chamfer made on it. Now if you look at this one, this was not a recessed cylinder. The cartridges in their original condition sat flush with the top of the cylinder. They did not drop down inside like a recessed model. So therefore the cutting did not have to be as deep on this one. On this one though is where you saw in the video of the chamfer being made on the edges of the cylinder. You can see the shine right around here. It's about 7/1000 at 20 degrees. And this, for speed loading, when you're loading on the move, this should help you line things up if the cylinder's straight up and down to get things in and back out of the gun to give you a little more relief. There again, this is not necessary. If you don't want to do that much cutting on the cylinder, you don't have to make the service work. It was just something I chose to do personally. So let's talk about the advantages of having this done on a CNC machine versus the way sometimes they've been done traditionally on a mill. Here's one of our big differences that our person can do different than what most services have to offer. If you'll notice on this cylinder how the machining was done right around the edge of what some people call the star, generically referred to as that. We'll just call it the star for this purpose. Because of the CNC machining, the machine is able to come in and precision cut right around the edge of this star to make the moon clip fit. In other services, when it's done on a manual milling machine, the cylinder has to sit into a fixture and the cylinder has to rotate like this while the tool is stationary. What happens, in order to make this moon clip fit, you have to come around and machine off some of the edge of this shoulder right here. Not very much, but it has to be machined off. This does not affect the function of the gun by machining this off when that service is done that way. It does cut more off of the extractor. So if that bothers you, if you have a personal thing against that, you don't want any more cutting done than necessary, doing the CNC method, it saves that cutting, it saves that time, it saves that material being taken off. So this is a description of what everything looks like. This is what your cylinder will look like when it gets done. So now we'll talk to you about how to get access to this service. This service was done by a personal friend of mine. He's a journeyman mold maker, tool and die. He does high precision work, and I think he's done an excellent job with these, and we're going to make his service available. If you want to get your cylinders cut for moon clips from Jim, and we're going to give Jim's contact information during the end of the video, you'll need to obtain your own moon clips from T&K Custom, moonclips.com. These are about $6 and some change a piece. You'll buy them for the type of revolver that you're working on, make and model. They're available on the website, or you can call and order them. They come in packs of 10 generally. You provide us or Jim with a moon clip. We're going to take your cylinder assembly and machine it. This is all that's required from you. A gun is not needed to complete the work. Only the cylinder assembly needs to be given to Jim for the service. So when you want to get the service done, call up, make sure you get your moon clips ordered, have your cylinder removed from the gun. If you're not sure how to get the cylinder out of the gun, contact a good competent gunsmith, or I'm sure there are other videos here on YouTube that can lead you in the right direction on how to get the cylinder removed. It's not very hard. The service for the basic cutting and fitting of the moon clip is $125. You may call Jim to set up your appointment, or you may email Jim to set up your appointment. The service will be done just like you saw in the video in a modern CNC machine. No alterations, no damage, nothing has to be done. He'll service your cylinder, machine it, get it back to you, and you'll be ready to go. When I took these guns to the range for the first test firing this last Friday, I was able to reassemble them, drop them right in. I had no functional issues, no point of impact shifts, no nothing. They were just as smooth as they were. I love it. Support American business as much as you possibly can. So remember to take a look. If you got any questions, get a hold of us. Leave a comment in the video below. Check out our Facebook page. And if you're interested in the service, if you cannot reach Jim for some reason, or if you just want to reach us and have us get the information to him, feel free to contact us, and we will get you in the right direction.